Hello, I'd like to welcome you to this video. I'm Dr. Shamim, Professor, Amat Business School, Amat University. Today, I'll be giving you a small insight on working capital. Working capital is considered to be very important for each and every organization because without it, the organization will not be able to meet its day-to-day expenses. So if you ask me to define working capital, I will say it is capital that is required to meet the day-to-day expenses of an organization. We all know that companies are compelled to sell on credit, and when they sell on credit, their money gets locked up or blocked up in the form of sundry debtors. Hence, they have lack of working capital to meet their recurring expenses, like for example, payment of salaries, payment of wages, payment of rent and other such expenses. So they will have to make arrangements to make sure that they have ample amount of money in hand so that work goes on without any interruptions. We all know there's a concept called operating cycle, which means if I'm a manufacturer, today perhaps I have it as cash in hand, tomorrow it will become raw material if I spend that money and buy raw material with which I'm going to make my finished product. In due course, this raw material, when it is issued to the user department, namely the factory, it will get converted in some time into WIP, that is work in progress. And after a little more work is done, WIP will automatically get converted into finished goods. And when these finished goods are sold on credit to the customers, they get converted into debtors. Now, assuming I'm giving 30 days credit period to my customers, I can expect to receive the money only after the expiry of 30 days from my customers. So during this gap, the gap from the date of sale to the date of receiving money from my debtors is called as the operating cycle. And to sustain my business activity during this gap, working capital is required. Now, let's move on to seeing what are the two important concepts of working capital. There are two concepts of working capital, one which is called gross working capital and the other which is called net working capital. Gross working capital will let you know what is your total investment in the total current assets. We all know that every company will be having a long list of current assets which will be projected in the balance sheet. Like for example, cash in hand, cash at bank, marketable securities, which are otherwise called as short-term investments or temporary investment, the bills receivable, the sundry debtors, the closing stock, and so on. So what I'm trying to say is, we will have to make our investment in all these, and when I want to find out what is my gross working capital, if I total and find out how much of my money I'm holding in these various categories of assets that I have just spelled out, I will get to know what is my gross working capital. Next, let us move on to the concept of net working capital. This is a more popular and a more realistic concept as far as the concept of working capital are concerned. This is defined as the excess of current assets over current liabilities. Just like how I'm selling on credit, perhaps on the other hand, I would also be buying on credit from my suppliers or vendors. Perhaps they give me 45 days period of credit, which in turn I'm sharing with my customers as 30 days of credit. Now, this net working capital, which is defined as the excess of current assets over current liabilities, is nothing but, in short, current assets minus current liabilities. So if I know on one hand what are my current assets, and on the other I know how much of current liabilities I'm able to enjoy, that is how much of payments I'm able to defer, let's say for a maximum period of 1 year, then I'll be able to arrive at this concept of net working capital. Now, in all the problems that are carried on with respect to estimation of working capital, the concept of gross working capital is not used, and only this concept of net working capital is used. Next, let us move on to seeing what are the different types of working capital. Broadly, working capital can be classified into two types. On one hand, we have the permanent or the fixed working capital, and on the other hand, we have the temporary or the fluctuating working capital. Now, this permanent working capital, otherwise called as fixed working capital, will be required at any point of time throughout the life of the business. Okay, and it will not, perhaps there will be small changes, but this minimum amount of working capital that is required on any day throughout the lifetime of the organization. On the other hand, when we talk about the other type of working capital, which is called temporary or fluctuating working capital, this temporary or fluctuating working capital is required only during the peak season. That is, let's say, for example, during this Diwali season, when people are buying more number of units of the product that we are manufacturing, perhaps we will have to make ready or make available more units of the product. So perhaps I make my people do overtime, I buy more quantities of raw material, and I make more number of units available so that they would be readily available for people who want to buy during the festival season or during the peak season. During this peak season, I'm going to be spending more on wages. I'm going to be spending more on paying my suppliers because I'm buying extra quantities of material, and likewise, naturally, my overheads will also go up. So this money that is required in addition to the permanent working capital for a short spell of time, that is during the peak season, will be called as temporary working capital. Now, one more important point that I would like to spell out is the sources from where you have to get these types of working capital. When we talk about the permanent working capital, it is best that you get it from a long-term source because you need it again and again over a long period of time. So do not get it from a short-term source. If I get it from a short-term source, perhaps I have to worry about returning it, let's say, within a maximum period of 1 year. And then again, I have to make negotiation with my suppliers of funds. So the best source to get money which you require as permanent working capital will be from a long-term source. But as far as the temporary working capital is required, that is capital that perhaps you require only for 3 months or 4 months in a particular year. So the best source to get it would be from a short-term source. If I'm going to get that capital from a long-term source, I would land up paying that cost of capital for the full 12 months. But I need that money only for, let's say, 3 months or 4 months. So to keep my cost of borrowing to the minimum, it is best that I borrow it from a short-term source. I hope I have made it clear. Thank you so much. Thank you.